Oliveira. So
Yes.
let me say,
Yes.
listeners, I'm gonna say I'm wrong with my prediction. I predicted Chandler was gonna win by knockout second round. I'm wrong, 100%. But I also did say, hey, there's a chance this guy can win.
I
And
mean, we all said that though.
Talk about covering your bets, man.
hey,
But
what can I say?
So yeah, I'm betting on him, but let me put 50 on. I'm gonna put up 200 on him, but let me put 50 on Charles Oliveira. All right.
nah, we need to like have hard in place bets on the who's winning. Like, we'll do that, man.
Well, yeah, but we should do it for fun though. Like, I'm not talking about real money.
No, we'll find a way.
Yeah,
Let's bet cars.
cars. yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hot Wheels.
Nah, it's like let me bet your pink slip, man.
Yeah. But like for real though, like I just want to say congratulations to Charles Oliveira. 10 years in the UFC. He had some ups, definitely had his downs, had a long ass journey. He racked up 8-fight win streak. He racked up 8 wins in a row before he got a title shot. Then
Jeez.
it was looking a little rocky for him in that first round. Even
Yes.
some of the judges scored it at 10-8. And then he came back, he kept his composure, and he was like, Brazil, we did it. We did it, baby. So shouts out to him. That was a nice left hook he landed on Chandler. I'm wondering if Michael Chandler's a little chinny because it wasn't like he was getting pummeled. And then he got hit with that nice little hook. And next to all of a sudden, you know, his fucking legs was doing the deer shit. So.
I think. Go ahead.
Nah, you got it.
I think I was watching the fight. I personally don't think Michael Chandler's chinny, only because like of the types of fights we've seen him in before, where you know he's one of those people who like they get rocked and they keep on going on, and even like after he got rocked by that beautiful hook that he threw, he wasn't all the way out. You know what I mean? He needed to follow up a little bit because Michael Chandler can kind of get himself together in a similar way to Eddie Alvarez, who he had those wars with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as Oliveira winning, like I was watching that fight and I just like I think we all knew it was possible. I never saw him knocking him out like the way he did. That shocked me. And like he caught him just with the one of the nicest counters that I've seen like in a long time. And I was just like, man, like he really did it. And then he won. You really got to give him credit because like I thought he had the skills at 145, but he just never put up enough of a streak in order to get himself fully into the title picture. So like I think him winning the title at 155, I personally didn't think it was going to happen, but you know, shouts out to him because he really did the thing.
He did it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. Like for someone to go on such a long streak and being in the UFC game, the professional fighting game of the UFC for pretty much like Lau said, 10 years. And to get to this point and even in the fight itself, it wasn't like from the soon as the bell rung in round 1, it was a definitive, oh, Charles Oliveira is going to win this fight. It was he took some shots. He was doing pretty good at first, and then he started taking some shots. I mean, I know I was close to thinking like, yo, at this point, if he doesn't scramble, this could be over for him. And luckily, he was able to get himself together, pull himself back up, and then came out in the round 2, and he did what it was necessary. But it was a close fight nonetheless. So, like, to see someone go from his journey in itself to get to this point and then still having a tough fight, it kind of shows, like, it's a testament to, like, just those type of fighters. And he's only, 31, 32? So he's still pretty young. He's probably just hitting his peak in a sense. So it was pretty dope. I think shout outs to not Charles Oliveira, but Michael Chandler as well. He took the loss pretty good. And I think, I'm sorry, I don't believe he'll have the title within the next 12 months.
I agree. He won't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either.
Yeah, like it's sad to say, but like we were saying, he'll probably have to get there'll be a bridge between him and Conor. Conor will be standing at the middle of this bridge at some point, more than likely, if he wins the next fight. So,
yeah.
But
one thing I wanted to say about Michael Chandler in that fight is it looked like the way he was fighting, he thought that he could win the fight literally anywhere it went. And I think we all knew that he had a chance of knocking Charles Oliveira out. But I think that if he would have just let him stand up, even DC said it at some point in the fight. He said, I'd let him stand up. And I would have too, because I think he just would have had a better chance if it was on the feet. But for whatever reason, he was just comfortable like being on the ground. And it's not like he was getting like dominated. He won that whole first round, but it just seems like an odd choice for me personally. I would have just took it on the easiest route, but to each his own.
Yeah, especially when you know you're like fighting someone that can grapple. Like it wasn't like he was fighting someone that he thought was just a stand-up guy. Like similar to what we would see in the following fight with Tony, where Tony was fighting Dariush. Yeah, when he was fighting Dariush, like they were even talking about that fight, like how he when he fought Charles Oliveira, he was on the ground a lot. So you would think someone like Michael Chandler would have taken like had the sensibility of knowing like, hey, this is a guy that I don't want to be on my back or having him on his back. Definitely when we all know, like from what we've seen with Michael Chandler, his thing is standing up. He's quick to try to shift his stance, going from orthodox to unorthodox. So, and even his style of fighting is just, I'm going to be up on you. So it would have been better. It would have been smarter, but who knows? Maybe because of those things, he feels as though he could be back at having a title shot at least in the next 12 months, though we don't believe it, but he has every right to dream. But yeah, similar to what I was saying though, the Tony fight last night between Tony and Dariush. What did you guys think about that fight?
Well, listeners, that was the prediction I got right. I just didn't see Tony pulling this one off. Dariush, man, he's a guy where if you actually really watch him fight before, he's not bad. And not only that, he's been fighting some tough competition.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not like this is a guy who's been beating up newcomers, guys with 0-2 records in the UFC. No, he's been beating some tough guys, some stiff guys. And pause. But like he's not fucking fighting bums at all. So when he fought Tony, and the way I see Tony got beat up by Justin, and he got ragdolled by Oliveira, I was just kind of like, I don't know, man. This is a bad matchup for him because like Dariush is a good grappler. He's really good at his grappling. And I feel like his stand-up is not like elite, but is good enough to where he could close the distance and grapple you, take you down and wear you out, work you, probably get a finish. You guys seen that heel hook?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
The fact that Tony did a tap was just kind of like, that's a testament to his heart and his will. You know what I mean? To endure that pain. But if that was anybody else, they would have tapped. If it was Connor, he would have tapped. If it was fucking Justin or fucking Dustin, they probably could have tapped. Like that, not anybody is not tapping to that heel hook. He popped his shit and Tony was still up there fighting. So kudos to Tony for being able to take punishment and be able to keep coming. But it's like, I think Tony needs to take some real time off.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like he's getting beat up in these fights, man. And it's starting to become like Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, every fight he's looking worse. Like it's
Did you see the stat that DC read off earlier today?
About are you talking about the 30 strikes one?
Yeah, like he's landed 1 strike per minute in like his last like 3 fights or something like that.
Yeah, that's
bad. That's bad.
Very bad. It's like,
you know?
At that point, he's a human punching bag.
Right.
Yeah,
and
essentially.
Like, you really do got to take some time off because it's like, I personally think that Tony has the skills to stay in it like a little bit more, but he's got to take some time off. Like it seems like people found some type of formula to beat him. You know what I mean? And like he's just getting dominated. You know what I mean? Like it's like these last 3 losses were like dominating losses. Like you got to get some time, maybe like a year or 2, and then give it one last shot, and then after that, I think that's about it.
Well, listeners, cheat plug in real quick, but the rankings, make sure you check them out on the Highly Advised Podcast Instagram page, and you'll see our rankings of who we think is, where they're at and possibly who could get the next title shot. So just check it out there. And now we move on. I saw something go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I wanted to say something about this. So like,
okay, my bad.
Nah, you good. So with the Tony fight, right? Like, I agree where like he got dominated the whole fight, and that heel hook, it showed a testament to like how tough he was. but at the same time, he took a bad injury from that, from what you could tell. So like it kind of stopped him from even putting pressure on that foot for the rest of the fight. I think between trying to heal from that as well as trying to take some time off to kind of break, I guess, that streak or get his mind right so he can get out of that focus of that streak that he's been on, of the losing streak. He's like 37, 38 at this point. If him taking time off, I know Nigel said like, oh, a year time, right? So now we're putting him at like 38, 39.
Yep.
Which is pretty much 40. He's pretty much close to 40.
Said the same thing about Tyron.
Yeah, so at this point, personally, I think it may be better for him to, if he was to fight again, he needs to fight within the next year. If not, I think it's best that he retires, because he's at this point he doesn't have much. Time's not on his side, and even DC is a testament of talking about fighting at the championship level of how hard it is to practice and how hard it is to cut weight X, Y, and Z he was fighting at 40 years old. So like, I think for Tony, I think it's probably best that he hangs it up. I know it's unfortunate. It's last thing he probably would want to hear. But if he does fight, he needs to fight within the next year or hang it up. At this point, you don't want someone to become a punching bag. Like, this is probably just the sign of his decline.
I don't know. It's weird because I forgot how old he was, and like it's definitely possible that he should retire. I don't know. Like, it's weird because he was just he was near a title shot, and he just took two bad losses. You know what I mean? Like, I guess maybe that's why I feel about it, because he was like closer. Like he was in the picture until he wasn't, and when he wasn't, he's really not. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's why I feel a little bit more lenient in this situation. I had one more thing to say about the card. The Shane Burgos knockout looked crazy, and that fight was actually really good. Him versus Edson Barbosa.
Yeah.
Shouts out to them. If there's any other fight that I wanted to give a little bit of highlight to, that would be the one.